As we see in the Opus 78 example, one syllable can be variously altered, compressed, and subsequently expanded to create a dramatic arc, a developmental arc from the simplest of elements, 2/16 rubbing together to make fire. The C minor fugue, Book 1, presents us with a laboratory, a crucible of experimentation and exploration. I like to cultivate variation within its simplest syllable, the thrice repeated pair of anapest 16th notes, resulting in the final iteration, the final paired 16ths, finally landing emphatically and quite expanded on the downbeat strongly. It's an invitation to vary those motivic 16th upbeats so that they begin as snaps, perhaps flourishes, their magnetic pull making them very compressed and tentative at first, gradually putting a molecule space between the 16ths in each repetition, eventuating the final strong beat 16th as a more separate, more fatefully authoritative, emphatically uncompressed, fist-shaking 16ths in contrast to the more fluid, inciting, shaken 16ths of the opening. The final, fourth 16th pair is not anapest, but arrives on the last downbeat of the subject's last measure. I begin tenuously, first in deference to the silence of the downbeat, then in more of a frisson than a declaration. The earliest 16ths are snapped, much as we first heard them in the Beethoven example, Opus 78. With the goal of a definitive arrival of the 16ths on the final downbeat, we can make our goal, our trajectory, to make those final 16ths broad and authoritative and evolve through the intervening pairs with greater and greater breadth. Eloquent, venerable character is the consequence of gradient compression growing into more elemental and defining and expansive emphasis. This subtle, subliminal, purposefully gradual retreatment of the 16th note motive engages wholly with our rhythmic parameter. This should be recognized as another tool in assaying the range of notational possibility, affecting palpably the trajectory of a subject or phrase. So you see how I started out sort of snappish, and then I'm a little bit more languid, a little bit more lyric, because that beautiful falling fifth, and then a little bit more operatic, and already starting to broaden the 16th a little bit, and then really broaden them. It's a very good example of the manipulation, the alteration of one particular motive, one particular syllable in the theme, in the service of creating a much larger scale motion through the theme. We've examined